What's up? What's up? What's up? It is another episode of the Black Podcast Show. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. Another Sunday. I'm blessed to be here again. As y'all know, the Black Podcast Show is the only podcast online hosted by me, your girl Auchante. And on this show, I give you 3, maybe 4 segments. It's almost like I'm giving you 3 to 4 podcasts in one. In just 1 hour, you're getting not one show, not 2 shows, but 3, maybe 4. Just depends on kind of how the time thing goes. But where else can you get that? I'm not sure. If there's another podcast that's doing what I do, don't bother letting me know. All I want you to do is like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that. Help me push this one forward. You dig what I'm saying? So, anyway, on the Black Podcast Show, the first thing I do every week, I give my listeners, my watchers, a little bit of motivation. And with this motivation, it's meant for you to carry it with you throughout the week. That's why I give it to you on Sunday. It's the beginning of the week, start of a new week. You got a fresh start this week. You got a fresh start this week. So I'm going to give you some motivation. If you're listening, I need you to give me your undivided attention. And I need you to just open yourself up and be open to receiving this motivation. So the motivation this week is actually in the form of an entire song. Y'all know sometimes I might take a little bar, a little lyric, but this week it's a song that I was listening to, that I've been listening to for years, that was just on my spirit, that I felt the need to share with you guys. So the motivation for this week is going to be the song Motivation by T.I. And so the whole song is basically about staying motivated in the face of adversity. And so I was listening to it. I said, some of my listeners might not know about this song. I'm going to give you guys just a couple of bars. I'm going to just analyze them, let you know how you can carry this with you throughout your week. And hopefully this helps somebody, because when I listen to this song in the morning before I start my day, I can honestly say it makes me go harder. So right off the bat, when the song first comes on, T.I. is saying that the haters need to get on their job. He's telling sucker niggas to get on their job. And what he means by that is telling them, start hating, start talking shit, because I'm about to start excelling. And so it's kind of just like, once you hear it, it immediately starts getting you riled up. It starts getting your confidence up. It starts making you feel like, okay, haters and sucker niggas are supposed to hate. They're supposed to gossip and talk shit. So when they do that, that means that you're doing your job. So, like I said, the whole song is just about overcoming adversity, standing strong in the face of adversity. And I just feel like, man, T.I. created a masterpiece with this one. So right off the bat, he says, anything don't kill me, make me better. And that's so important to take with us, because a lot of times we get discouraged over silly things. You know what I mean? Like, we have a goal in mind. We have something important that we want to accomplish. We have an important message that we need to spread. And because one thing goes wrong, we tend to get discouraged about the whole thing. But T.I. is saying anything that don't kill me make me better. So anytime you get a bump in the road, that's supposed to make you even stronger. Anytime you're trying to accomplish something and somebody tells you no, anytime a door closes in your face, that's actually supposed to make you better. And I mean, me personally, I know that I've been discouraged before. I know that I have been, felt shut down because things didn't go perfectly. But the truth is, that's not what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is you're supposed to feel even more motivated. You're supposed to want to push yourself even harder. If it don't kill you, it's going to make you stronger. So anyway, T.I. goes on to say, you can take the fame and the cheddar and the game and the deal. I'm still a go-getter. Take my freedom for the moment, but it ain't forever. So, like I said, he's just saying you can take all the things that he has away from him and he'll get them back. And another thing that's just important that you need to take with you throughout the week, no matter what happens, whether you get evicted from your home, whether your house gets foreclosed on because you couldn't pay the mortgage, whether your lights get cut off because you couldn't pay the electricity bill, whether you get fired from your job, you can come back from all of that. We all could come back from all of that. It's about your spirit, your mindset, and what you're able to accomplish, what you're able to tell yourself to accomplish. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, it sucks to go through these things. It sucks to get evicted, to face homelessness. But either you're going to sit there and throw yourself a pity party about how bad it sucks, or you're going to figure out a way. You're going to think of a way. You're going to tell yourself, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z to get back on track. Either that's going to occur or you're going to stay where you're at. And your temporary homelessness is going to, maybe turn permanent. So a temporary situation can be resolved. A temporary setback can be a setup for a major comeback. But it's just up to your mindset. And that's what T.I. is talking about in Motivation. So like I said, it's just a great song to check out. If you're familiar with the song and you already know the feelings that it can evoke, the push that it can give you listening to it early in the morning. Let me see. So yeah, another bar from the chorus. He just says, "Niggas faking only gonna inspire. All your hating is fuel to my fire. It's motivation." And so I just want to reemphasize that when you feel that people around you are hating on you, or you feel that the people around you aren't supporting you the way you need them to, or you feel that the people around you, or even your enemies, are plotting against you, it's up to you to go even harder because of that. It's not up to you to say, let me just not even. Nah. You're supposed to take all that and use it as fuel to go harder. You know what I mean? It's motivation. So he literally says, all your hating is fuel to my fire. So when you hear somebody gossiping about you, when you find somebody saying that you're not good enough, that you can't do something, you're supposed to take that and make it happen. You're supposed to take that and feel even stronger about whatever it was that you wanted initially. You're not supposed to get discouraged and tell yourself, okay, well, I just won't. Nah, that's what they want. But that shouldn't be what you want. You have to go against adversity, and you have to chase your goals relentlessly. You have to fight for you. And maybe it's not fair. Maybe some people have it easy, but that's not the case for everybody. So if you want something, it's up to you to go get it. And just because you want it doesn't mean it's just going to fall in your lap. But if you want it, only you are going to fight for it. Only you are going to do everything possible to make it happen. Only you. Nobody else. So that's the motivation for the week. Like I said, just in the face of adversity, use it as fuel. When you find yourself being in a negative headspace or even in a negative atmosphere in general, use that as fuel. And you have to go even harder. You have to say to yourself, this is why I have to make it. Because of this. So y'all take that with y'all through the rest of the week, through the rest of the month. September is coming to an end. Take it with you throughout the rest of the year. And like I said, when you face those hard times, just know that this is why it's even more important for you to get where you're trying to go. This is why you have to get to the top. It doesn't mean you won't have hard times then, but for one, you'll know how to handle it. And for two, I'm sure success makes those hard times a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? So that's the motivation for the week. Like I said, take that with you and hold it down. Now I'm gonna jump into the Tay Talk. So typically, what I do on the Black Podcast Show is have a true crime segment, but this week I'm not gonna do that. This week, excuse me. Let me get a sip of my espresso. This week I'm gonna keep it light. I'm going to talk about something I kind of been wanting to talk about for a while. I'll probably talk about it in different ways throughout as the show goes on. But today I'm just gonna talk about Lil Nas X and the music industry. And the reason I want to talk about Lil Nas X and the music industry is after watching his interview on the Breakfast Club, I just felt compelled to speak on it. So the thing with Lil Nas X is he's become such a polarizing figure so fast. I didn't even realize that his first song, Old Town Road, came out in December of 2018. So this guy has really only been popping for just over 2 years. We've only known Lil Nas X for just over 2 years. And he has caused such a ruckus in the music industry, in the hip hop industry, in such a short amount of time. So back in 2018, Lil Nas X introduced himself to us with the single Old Town Road. And it was pretty much a country, hip hop, pop, it was pretty much country and hip hop. Just a country and hip hop song. Just kind of a fun song, clearly made for young people by a young person. And it instantly kind of gained traction. And before we even knew who Lil Nas X was or what a Lil Nas X was, Old Town Road was everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. The thing is, Lil Nas X was lucky enough to blow up with kids. So immediately, children were drawn to this song, Old Town Road, to the point where they want to hear this song over and over and over again. He created a cult-like following amongst young children. And from there, Lil Nas X obviously became a superstar. So then, something interesting happened. Not even 6 months into Lil Nas X's newfound fame, he announces that he's gay. And I mean, to be fair, it's just like a gay nigga to feel the need to be so dramatic to announce it on his first official project in this coded ass weird language. I mean, it was cool. It's no issue announcing it, but it was just kind of like when it happened, I'm like, okay, whatever. But a lot of people were very upset. People were very upset. And most people claim that they were upset because it seems that he pandered to children with his first single. But I don't think that was the case. I think that he put out a single and kids fell in love with it. So, but he was performing at a lot of schools. He was performing at like kids' parties. He did seem that he was going the route of being an artist that was not necessarily kid friendly, but appropriate, I suppose, for kids to listen to. So anyway, whatever the case was, a lot of people were upset when Lil Nas X came out as gay. And then his second single, Panini, which he did a remix with DaBaby, came out. And I don't feel like it really got the same, it didn't get anywhere near the same traction as Old Town Road. I mean, by this point, he was an established artist somewhat. By that, I mean we knew his name. But Panini did not get anywhere near as big as Old Town Road. So, Lil Nas X announces that he's gay, and from there, the trolling begins. To be fair, Lil Nas X was a social media troll before he became famous. So he ran all these different Twitter accounts where on some of them he was a Nicki Minaj stan, and I guess he would just troll people. It's a thing that young people do, or even I guess older people my age probably do it too. But that was his life before he became famous at the age of 20. And so when I'm watching this Breakfast Club interview, Charlamagne stated that Lil Nas X seemed much more free now than he did when they initially met back in 2019 when Old Town Road was popping. And so Nas admitted that he feels much more in control with this success than he did with Old Town Road. So Old Town Road was unexpected, and I'm guessing that he was probably being pushed and pulled every which way. But ultimately, as a branded artist, you have to have an image. And what I remember when Old Town Road came out, Lil Nas X and whoever his people are were pushing this story that Lil Nas X enjoys country music. He's a country boy, and he felt that he was being shut out from this industry because he was black and it was all this racist shit. So okay, cool. But then immediately the next song he comes out with is, like I said, pop, rap, whatever the case, whatever you want to call it, not country. And from there, he hasn't put out anything else country. And now I believe that he has gone ahead and went with the image of being the gay guy, the gay rapper. Like, that's the new image. I'm not sure why the country thing wasn't working. I don't know. Maybe that's not really what he wanted to do. But it seems like somebody put a bug in his ear and said, bro, controversy sells. And I mean, maybe Lil Nas X took it up on himself to run with that, but I also think that he has a battery in his back. I really do. And I say this as a obviously gay person. I'm not saying that he's not gay. I'm not saying that he's not really being himself. But I really do think that there's someone behind the scenes telling him to go to the extreme, telling him to portray a certain image, telling him to do this and do that because of an agenda that they want to push. And once again, I'm not saying that Lil Nas X is not being himself. I'm not saying that he's not doing what he wants to do. What I'm saying is I think that there's also an agenda behind him doing what he wants to do. I think that it's somebody seeing that he's doing what he wants to do, and they have reasons of wanting to encourage certain behaviors. And it's hard for me to kind of say, I mean, it's going to sound like a conspiracy theory, but we all know how powerful music is. I mean, maybe some people don't, but think about the fact that you can not hear a song for 10 years. 10 years. And it could play right now, 10 years later, and you know it's still word for word. How can you not think that's powerful? But then the same stuff that you learned at school every day, you don't remember that. People tell me that they find no use to the things that they learned in school. They find no use to algebra. You don't remember nothing that you learned in school, but you can remember a song that came out 15 years ago that you haven't heard for 10 years, word for word. So you have to understand that music is very powerful. Imagery is very powerful. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with Lil Nas X being a gay black man, but I just think that there is some kind of agenda, and I do think it's weird that he was marketed to children, and now he's saying that's not, it's one thing for a Cardi B to say I'm not a role model. It's one thing for a Rihanna to say I'm not a role model, because neither one of those people came out marketed towards kids. So when they say it, it's like, okay, duh. But when Lil Nas X says it, it's kind of weird, because it's like, now you're saying, fuck them kids. I'm not pandering to kids. That's what he said on the interview. I'm not pandering to you or your kids. And on one hand, yeah, I agree with that. But on the other hand, nigga, yes, you did. Like, you literally did until you sucked that up until it was dry. You did all these concerts at schools. You did all these shows with kids until, you decided that wasn't what you wanted to do no more. But you took advantage of that market, is my point. And that's what a business is supposed to do. But then they turn around and say, oh, fuck them kids. All right, so for those that's watching, you can see My bro Jay just said it's not his job to raise people kids though. And I'm gonna respond to this comment because I agree with that. It's definitely not no celebrity job to raise their fans' kids or to raise their fans that are kids. But I just don't agree with him saying, "Oh well, fuck your kids. I'm not pandering to your kids." When he did, when he came out, he was specifically marketed towards kids, and then he turned around and was like, "Oh no, I'm gay as fuck," and not only am I gay, but like I'm super 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 gay, and not only am I super 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 gay, but I'm super 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 like atheist, like non-religious, like I love Satan. I want to suck Satan's dick. So it was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that suggests that there's something going on behind the scenes. So now he's saying that he has more control over things, over his success. Now he has more control over it. And I think that he is now doing what he wants to do. Probably when he came out, he was being told, "Oh, you need to portray this type of image. Oh, you need to be this country artist. Oh, you're just a black boy trying to fight racism." And now maybe he is saying, "You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. I'm gonna wear whatever I want to wear. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do." But it's just strange. No, he's not wrong for that at all. By no means is he wrong. But I just think that behind the scenes, there's a lot more at play. I really do. I think Lil Nas X does not realize how powerful his platform is. All right. Micaiah just asked me, do you think him being pregnant helped or hurt his image? That's actually a really good question. And honestly, I'm not sure. I think, to me, when I first saw it, and I guess that I don't speak for the masses like I think I do, but when I first saw it, I just thought it was funny. I thought it was so funny, honestly. I thought it was super funny. But after having discussions with other people, a lot of people found it extremely offensive. I thought it was funny. I thought it was good marketing. And when he explained it, he said that he was pregnant with his album, his first album, and he felt that he put so much into it, he felt that that's his baby. And I mean, a lot of people say that about their projects or their businesses or whatever the case is. So I didn't really think much of it, but a lot of people, a lot of women found it offensive. Of course, there were some guys that didn't like it just because, homophobia or transphobia or whatever, but a lot of people found it offensive. So whether it helped him or hurt him, I'm not really sure. Luckily for Lil Nas X, right now we in a time where people are pushing being free. So he does have that cult-like following where people are saying, well, he's gay and he's free and that's fine. And he should be able to do that. And I love it. 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 And I think that we can get lost. We can get lost in being hateful towards him, which people have. I've talked about Lil Boosie talking shit about Nas X. But we can also get lost in being too free. So Lil Nas X, I think he is having fun. I think he's doing what he wants to do. But I also think that he has a battery in his back. And I think somebody's telling him, oh, wouldn't it be funny if you. Jay says, I'm not convinced that he's gay. It's just good marketing. I feel that way as well. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's at least possibly bi because he's been kissing guys. But I also think Lil Nas X could be a perfect example of people will do anything for fame and money. Because a couple times during the interview, and once again, he is young, but a couple times during the interview, he would say stuff like, oh, wait, can I say that? Or is that okay? And so either he's been very media trained or he is willing to do things he doesn't want to do for money. And at the end of the day, I'm not hating on that. At the end of the day, we are all doing things we don't want to do for money because I don't want to go to work, period. But because I need money, I go. I've had to find the job that I hate the least, but we're all willing to do things we don't want to do for money. So I'm not sure. I agree on that aspect. But also, when I watched the interview, I realized how young Lil Nas X is. So I will say that he is well spoken in that he speaks clearly, but he's also clearly, visibly, and audibly immature. You know, he's 22 years old, but watching the interview, all I kept thinking was, oh, he's a kid. And, you know, maybe it's because he has a baby face and he seems to have kind of an innocent nature, honestly, just the way he was talking and stuff. Like, he just kind of reminds me of, like, my little cousins, my little sister, like a younger person than me in the way he talks, the way he explains things. He talks like such a young person. And at one point, he stated that he knew he made it when he got his first $15,000 in his account. $15,000, and my nigga said he made it. I mean, and I'm gonna say this as a adult, as a 30-year-old grown ass woman, $15,000 is not shit. I would be happy. Don't get me wrong. If I unexpectedly got $15,000 in my account right now, it's gonna make a difference for sure. It's gonna help out. But I'm not gonna be like, you know, fuck that job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't made nothing. $15,000. So, you know, Lil Nas X is young, and DJ Envy even asked him what was his first big purchase. And typically, when someone is kind of new to fame and money, their first big purchase, they're gonna say a house or a certain car or something for their family. Lil Nas X said his first big purchase was a $2,000 Burberry coat. Not even jewelry. A $2,000 Burberry coat. And that's when I realized he is a kid. Because a $2,000 is not a big purchase. I'm not saying it's nothing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it like, oh, this money is nothing. But $2,000 is not a big purchase. It's just not. Now, like I said, a car, $15,000, $20,000, a house, $100,000. That's a big purchase. But he said his first big purchase was a $2,000 Burberry coat. So that's what I said. I realized he is a kid. But that's the reason why it's such an important thing to know, that kids are just easily influenced and controlled without even knowing that they're being influenced and controlled. So I think that that's where Lil Nas X is in the music industry. I think for him, he thinks that he's having fun. No, I think he is having fun. I think he's having fun. I think he is trolling people. I think he's making the music that he genuinely enjoys, because it's not really for me. The album is not bad. I didn't hate listening to it, but it's just not for me. But I think he's doing what he wants to do. And I also think that he can easily be told, do this. And he don't think it's a big deal because the people telling him do this have given him $10 million or whatever he's been given for his deal. So that's just my opinion on Lil Nas X and the music industry. I think that people underestimate two things being possible at one time. I think it's possible that Lil Nas X is doing what he wants to do. And I also think it's possible that he has a battery in his back and that there's an agenda behind him as a brand. So, yeah, drop your opinions. I think I already got some really great opinions. If you're watching, you can see people have pretty much been dropping their opinions already. Tell me what you think about that. And next time I talk about the music industry, honestly, I want to talk about, there needs to be a black attorney that files a lawsuit on the music industry for black Americans as a whole. And I'm sure I've said this before on the show, but I just listen to certain songs from when I was growing up. I think about certain programming from when I was growing up, and I think that the music industry purposely used hip-hop as a means to brainwash the black American community. So I'll get more into that another time. I just don't have the time right now. I don't have all the research right now, but there needs to be an attorney that makes that a case, because some of the songs and some of the things that the music was saying is just completely confusing, and it's It's backwards. It's one thing from entertainment and it's another thing that's programming. So we'll talk about that another time. For now, I'm gonna get into something a little bit lighter. And what we're gonna do is on the Black Podcast Show every week, I give people advice. And the reason I give out this advice is because I'm highly qualified to do so. I have a podcast, and they don't just let any old body record a podcast nowadays, you know. So I have some Am I the Assholes that I've handpicked from Reddit, and we're going to get into them. I got a couple of general advice questions from Reddit as well. So what we're going to do is give some people advice. As I talk to the people, if you're watching live, go ahead and drop a comment and you give them some advice too. If you're listening later, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to do that, but just enjoy listening and you think of your advice and see if we have the same advice. How about that? All right, Lama, what you got for me? What's the first Am I the Asshole this week? Am I the asshole for being furious once I found out my significant other has been using my razors to shave her quote-unquote bits for years without telling me? Her bits. So I'm going to say right off the bat, yes, because why she can't use your razor? Like, you're really kind of selfish. But anyway, let me read it and see what it says. My significant other, 35-year-old female, and I, a 33-year-old male, were on the couch watching a show on Netflix when a scene came on with two step-siblings squabbling over one using the other's razor in the show. The parents seemed to brush it off as not a big deal. But I found the whole interaction really odd. And I said something along the lines of, who on earth uses someone else's razor like that? That's so disgusting. And my partner gives me this look like she's guilty of doing just that. Fast forward 10 minutes, and she has proceeded to tell me she's been using my razors from the shower caddy, which I use mostly for my face and occasionally for my nuts before I throw them out, to shave not only her legs, but also everything else, a-hole included, for years. Now I'm sitting there gobsmacked with a disgusted look on my face, about to be sick, because to me that's a complete crossing of boundaries. And she just laughing her head off. I'm livid and confused because she seems to think this is so natural and normal, and she just won't get why I'm upset. What the hell is going on? Is this normal behavior? Am I an asshole for being so upset over this? I need answers, please. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna call this guy Corey. And Corey, first and foremost, I lied. You are not the asshole. Yeah, that's nasty. I thought you meant, when you said she was using your razors, I thought you meant like you was buying disposable razors and she was using them and, you know, I guess not replacing them, which that would still be messed up, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you dealing with a trifling ass bitch, honestly. And sorry if there's any kids listening, but yeah, Corey, you are dealing with a trifling ass bitch. We're gonna call her Tina. Corey, this actually might be grounds for like a breakup. I don't know. Like, she is using this. My thing is this: she's using your razors to shave her butthole, and then putting it back in the shower caddy. Like, bro, you have a sick bitch on your hands, and then you hopping in the shower, not knowing that this razor has been up her asshole, and using it on your face. Are you serious? This is one of those instances a man should never ever hit a woman. This is one of those instances if at the end of the question he would have said, am I the asshole for slapping the shit out of her? And I would have still said no. Like, Corey, you and Tina need to sit down. He got ass face and didn't even know it. Corey, you and Tina need to sit down and have a discussion about this before y'all can move forward. Honestly, I think you should leave for a couple of days. The fact that she sat in your face and lied, yes, dirty Tina. Like the fact that she sat in your face and lied to you, or not lied to you. The fact she sat in your face and laughed after you got mad, like it wasn't a big deal. That she is sick. It's no telling what else she might be doing. You have no idea what other dirty shit she's into, Corey. So honestly, bro, I think you need to just, like I said, you need to have a serious talk with her before y'all move forward, because the fact that she thought it was funny that she shaved her butt and then you shaved your face, like, yeah, that's sick. That's sick. We gonna move on to the next one, because Corey, you really just got too much going on to be asking strangers on the internet for advice. Y'all need to be in therapy or something, maybe. All right, what you got for me next, Lama? What's next? All right, am I the asshole because I didn't let my son stay at his girlfriend's birthday party without me? Huh. I'm gonna say yes right off the bat. My son, 17, and his girlfriend, 18, have been dating for 2 years. They've known each other for 10 years. They were, best friends throughout their early childhood. Her birthday was a few days ago. My son planned a party for her. She hadn't seen a lot of her extended family in a while because of COVID, and he managed to reach out so they could attend. He'd been planning it for a few weeks. A day before the party, I went through my son's phone. I do occasional checks because last year he got involved with a couple of quote-unquote friends that were doing drugs. I went through his messages with his friends and saw that he bought condoms because he and his girlfriend planned to do it for the first time on her birthday. I was upset, but I didn't want to have an outburst, since me and my son don't have the best relationships from those angry outbursts. I did talk to him about what I read. I told him I was disappointed, why it's not the best idea to do it right now, and why they should wait until they're older, etc. I let him know that he was grounded for a few weeks, and I told him that I would be changing some of the rules, such as him being out and about with her, because I have no way of guaranteeing he won't go behind my back. I originally said he could not go to the birthday party, but that was unfair of me. So I said he could go, but I had to be there too now. I went with him to her party. We stayed for a couple of hours. Around 10 p.m., I told him we should go back home. He asked me if he could stay. I said I couldn't allow that. He told me that I was being unfair because he deserves to be with her right now. I stood my ground and still said no. I busted their quote-unquote other plans, so I wasn't just going to be lenient. We went home. He walked away from me and slammed his door. I tried to lecture him for the attitude, but he only ignored me. So I extended his grounding by an extra week. We haven't spoken since his girlfriend's birthday, which was last Saturday. I'm not sure why he's angry with me. I wasn't overbearing or anything. I still let him go to the party and be there with her because he planned it and it was important to them both. Am I the asshole? I can tell that you are kind of an older lady. I'm going to call you Lenora. Miss Lenora, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, yes, you are the asshole. You are the asshole because, you know, I mean, I don't have kids, so I guess this is kind of hard for me to say. But I just think that you're the asshole because you went through your son's phone. So what y'all don't know is I'm going to add a little bit of context to the story. I'm going to add a little bit of context to the story in that I'm going to say I went through the comments after I read this, and on the original post, she said that he was smoking weed. That was the drugs that he got into. He was smoking weed with these friends that he met. So, Miss Lenora, yes, it's wrong. It's okay for you to be upset that your teenager is smoking weed. It's okay for you to not want your teenager smoking weed, but it's not really okay for you to be going through their phone like that. I know it sounds crazy, and I know that as a person that has grown up in a black household, you don't have no privacy. A black parent tell you quick, you don't have nothing. Matter of fact, everything you got is mine because I bought it. So, but in this day and age, you can't really be like that anymore. So a person's cell phone, a person's smartphone is almost like their little person. It's almost like they twin. It's so personal. It's their thing. It has so much personal information in it. It has their most intimate conversations and thoughts and plans. So for you to be taking his phone and just going through it, it's kind of messed up. I get that you pay the bill, but at the same time, I guess it's not messed up because I mean he was with the wrong crowd, I guess. But then you saw that he bought condoms. I don't know. I think that it's wrong to go through him and his friends' conversations. I just do. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a parent, so I get that you have to protect your kid, and I get that you have to do what you think is right for your kid. But at the same time, Miss Lenora, you have to trust your kid. You really do. I'm gonna call your boy Chad. Chad seemed like a pretty good kid. He seemed respectful. The fact that him and his girlfriend have been together for 2 years and they just now gonna be having sex for the first time. I'm not saying it's right for teenagers to be having sex, but I think it shows the level of respect and responsibility on his end. And I think that it's kind of messed up that you punished him for something that he didn't even do. You grounded him for 3 weeks for thinking about having sex. I mean, yeah, he did buy the condoms, but I don't know. I'm torn on this one. Actually, I'm very torn on this one. But Miss Lenora, you are gonna be the asshole. Like I said, I get that he's a teenager. I get that he's a minor under your roof, and I get that you want the best for your kid. But I'm gonna say you're the asshole. Just the way you went about it was not correct. I don't think he should have been punished for something that he didn't actually do. You have to be open with your son and be able to trust him that once you tell him, I don't want you to do that he won't do it. And then if he does, he will be the one that has to deal with the consequences of that. All right, let's get into the next one, Llama. We on fire. We got a little bit more time left. Let's do a couple more. Let me give out some advice. What we got? All right, she likes me and another guy. Ooh. So a girl, 29-year-old female, that I, 29-year-old male, have been dating, we've been on 3 dates now, told me that she likes me as well as another guy. She says she isn't currently dating him, but they did go on one date together before her and I officially met through online dating. She also mentioned that they talk a lot, even more than I talk to her. What do you guys think? I understand that we are both single. I haven't asked her to be my girlfriend, but while I'm dating somebody and getting to know them on a romantic level, I feel like it's kind of weird knowing that they are interested in another person. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's kind of weird that she told you that. I think that she was trying to just be upfront, which is commendable. She was being honest, and that's what's up. But I understand why you think it's kind of weird, and I understand why you feel weird about it. I'm going to call you Chris, because you just come off as a Chris. Matter of fact, I'm going to call you Christopher. You giving me Christopher vibes. Like, you don't go by Chris. You kind of serious. And Christopher, yeah, I agree that it's kind of weird that she told you. I wouldn't know how to feel if somebody told me that, because at this point, you're letting me know that I'm basically in competition. So you kind of assume when you're dating someone, especially when you meet them in online dating, that you're in competition with other people that may be trying to catch their attention. But to be told straight up, hey, I'm talking to another person, it's just you and another person at this point, it does feel like a competition. So now it's kind of like, okay, damn, do I need to send her some flowers? Did he send her some flowers? Should I take her to the movies? Do I need to do X, Y, and Z? Should I take her to Six Flags? Like, do I need to fly this bitch out somewhere? You know what I'm saying? Like, where does it stop? What can you do? So, of course, when you get to know somebody, you should just be yourself. You should be able to just be yourself. But when someone tells you it's a competition, it's probably natural for most people to start competing. So, what do I think about it? I think if you like her, if she seemed like a cool person, you should keep talking to her and just do you. And if she chooses the other guy, then that's what it's meant to be. So Jay says, why does he feel away? He's an asshole. I think, you know what? I'm going to say he shouldn't feel away. But at the same time, I get it. It can make you feel a bit insecure knowing that there's one other person you're competing against. If I know that, yeah, you might be talking to some other people, you might be texting some other people, that's just something I have to cope with. I don't have to necessarily deal with that directly. But once you tell me, oh, I'm talking to you and one other person, now I know, like, okay, damn, if it ain't me, it's them. And now I have to ask you, if you choose me, why did you choose me? And I have to ask you, what is your relationship with this person moving forward? So I mean, I get it. I'm an overthinker, so I think that's why I get it. Respect her honesty. I agree with that. Either step hard or step back. Facts. That's all you can do. Respect her honesty. Either step hard or step back. Micaiah said they just met one date. No. They went on 3 dates. I mean, shit, right. Same thing. 1 date, 3 dates. Like I said, I'm an overthinker, so I think I get it, Christopher. But yeah, bro, you just gotta keep doing you. And shit, you need to keep dating too. Get back on Tinder. Keep texting some more people. She is not the only fish in the sea, and obviously, she don't feel as strongly as you do. All right, let's get another one in, Lama. What you got for me next? Oh, all right. This is an advice. This is a relationship advice question. So y'all listen closely, and y'all help this lady out because she need it. My husband is mourning his dead mistress. 3 months ago, the woman who was having an affair with my husband died suddenly from an accident. I found out about the affair only 2 days after her funeral. I thought she was simply a coworker, and I was wondering why my husband was so disturbed and emotional. He quit his job, saying it was too traumatic to go back to work. She was in the early weeks of pregnancy when she died, and my husband doesn't know whether he or her husband was the father. So on top of everything, he's also grieving for a baby which may or may not have even been his. I find it extremely difficult to be emotionally supportive when he wakes up at 3 a.m. crying and trembling. Yet I don't have the heart to yell at him like I want to. He says she's dead, so there's no reason for me to feel jealous or threatened. And he asks for my understanding as he grieves. We've barely talked these last 3 weeks because I don't know how to respond to my husband when he cries and says he misses her and wishes she were here. Then also tells me how much he loves me and that he never intended to leave me. I asked him to visit a marriage therapist together, and he says he's, quote unquote, not ready to work on our marriage and thinks he needs to see a grief therapist instead. Do I need to give him time to mourn the loss of his mistress, or should I demand he focus on our marriage? So, wow, that's heavy. That's a lot. That is a lot. I'm going to call you Thelma. And the reason I'm going to call you Thelma is because I think you're a younger person, but obviously you got the mind of like an old ride or die, stand by my man type of, type of woman. So clearly your grandma or somebody raised you. And Thelma, yeah, Thelma, you do need to give him time to grieve. But he needs to be grieving outside of your house. Wherever he grieve at, that's cool. But that ain't got shit to do with you no more. Like, the fact that this nigga is waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, crying and trembling, Thelma, ask yourself a question, bitch. Have this nigga ever shed a tear over you? I bet the answer is no. Like, the fact that this nigga is comfortable enough with you to wake up crying, like, he know you ain't going nowhere. He not even hiding his grief. And then the fact that he quit his job. So hold on, Thelma. Let me back up. So you're telling me, not only did he cheat on you, not only did he get the chick pregnant, and now she died, not only is he grieving openly in your house, but this nigga quit his job, so he not even bringing in an income anymore? So, right, he quit his job. So you telling me that you taking care, girl? I don't know what your question was, but no, whatever it is, no. And you talking about going to a marriage counselor, and then not only you talking about going to a marriage counselor, this nigga said no, he will not go to a marriage counselor with you. He needs to go to a grief counselor because he is mourning his side bitch. I mean, rest in peace to the dead, no disrespect, but he mourning his side bitch right now. He's so busy crying over her that he can't even tend to you and y'all marriage, and he telling you that you need to be understanding. It's one thing you need to understand, Thelma, and that's that this nigga don't need to be in your life no more. Like the audacity, it gotta be on sale at the grocery store because that's crazy. Like I said, for a nigga to wake up crying at 3 a.m. at that, like, Thelma, you gotta go to work because his ass ain't going to work. So the fact that this nigga is waking up at 3 a.m. probably on a work day bothering you, and you got to be up at 7 so you could be at work by 8 because it's only one person bringing in an income, right? Girl, no, you single, Thelma. You single, ready to fucking mingle. All right. I got time to do one more. Lama, give me one more. I think I got one more. Do I got one more? Okay. Am I the asshole? Me and my partner are getting married. My family doesn't agree with my partner taking my last name. We are a gay couple. Okay, this one should be interesting. Me, a female to male, 21. So this person is a transgender that is going from a female to a male and 21 years old. And my partner, a 27-year-old male, are getting married soon, 17 days to be exact. My partner and I agreed that he would take my last name as he doesn't have any connections he wants to keep. We recently made the decision to finally announce the wedding date and have the normal A and B last name on the picture/post. I made the goal in my head that if they responded, I would make the hour trip to see them and talk everything out. I'm guessing that he's talking about his parents. I have messaged my father, a 52-year-old male, 4 times this month trying to talk to him with no reply. I have messaged my stepmom twice with no reply. So we made the announcement today without talking to my family. And I'm assuming that they posted this announcement on Facebook. My stepmom messages me pissed off and tells me that my dad is super upset and I need to be considerate of how things I do affect him. That I've been avoiding them and didn't tell my dad because I knew my dad would not approve. They are acting like this is not my last name too. I told my stepmom that it was mentioned to my dad before and that I did not foresee this as an issue. And no matter what I say, she says I'm avoiding him for this specific reason and has announced that she is not going to the wedding. She is not going to the wedding, and she has no idea if my dad will come. I even made the comment that when my brother, a 20-year-old male, gets married, this will not be an issue. And my stepmom said, yes, it would not be an issue because he would be the groom. I messaged my father and told him I was sorry. I messaged my mom, telling her multiple times I'm sorry. Me and my partner have even decided on taking a completely different last name to appease them. But my dad and mom still refuse to talk to me. So am I the asshole? I'm gonna call you Stefan. And that's, saying like, okay, it could have been Stephanie and now you Stefan. So Stefan, I don't think you're the asshole. I think that this is like a tricky situation because it sounds like your parents are not comfortable with the transgender thing. Well, they're not comfortable with you being transgender, with you transitioning into a male. And unfortunately for them, that is their problem because you are an adult and you are free to do what makes you feel comfortable and what makes you feel right. So obviously, being a female, you didn't feel correct in a female body, so you have transitioned into a man. I don't think that it's right for them to say that you can't use that last name. Also, your parents are older, so I think that while it's not right, their perspective is that what you're doing isn't right. So, but I think that it is important for you to do what you feel is right. You know, this is a tricky situation. Like I said, I don't think that you're the asshole. I think that your parents are assholes because they don't seem willing at all to try to see where you're coming from. They don't seem willing to still have a relationship with you, despite the fact that you're doing something they don't agree with. And I think that's the messed up part. So I think you said that you were gonna choose a totally different last name. I don't know if that's best or not. I mean, maybe that is best because a name is just a name. You would still be you if you had a different name. You know, Stefan, if your name was Larry, you would still be who you are as Stefan. So, yeah, I think it's messed up. I think that you need the support of your parents now more than ever with you entering into such a huge commitment and with you going through such a huge change in not only lifestyle but biology. So, you know, I think that you're not the asshole, and I hope that you have a better support system than your parents. But I also hope, Stefan, that your parents come around, and I hope that they, you know, can understand where you're coming from and what you have going on. So yeah, not the asshole. So I'm about to go ahead and wrap up. And you know what? What else I was gonna say? I saw in the shade room earlier. Y'all know earlier in the year, T.I. and Tiny had got hit with some allegations for, you know, sexual assault. I'm not sure if rape was an allegation, but they were just alleged as being creeps and weirdos, etc., etc., etc. Now, I'm going to say this. A lot of the stuff T.I. says, I just simply don't agree with. I like his music, as y'all can see, by the motivation I did today, but a lot of the stuff he says I don't agree with. But the allegations that people came out with, I just thought was crazy. If they are still true, then hopefully those young ladies can get some kind of justice. But like I said, when I talked about it on the show, some of the girls were saying shit like, "Oh, I went to T.I. and Tiny room for a party, or I went to their house for a party, and when T.I. opened the door, he had X pills in his hands and said, 'You got to take an X pill to get in.' And I took the X pill. Like I said, there's no excuse. It's no reason to ever sexually assault somebody. It's no reason for rape. It's no circumstances where forced sexual interaction is acceptable. But I'm gonna say this, and this is something I would say to any person, regardless of gender. But I would tell this to any young lady: if you get to the door of a party and they say you gotta pop a pill to even get in, you probably shouldn't go inside that party if having sex is something that you're not interested in doing. I'm just keeping it a buck 50. Popping a X pill, we all know that the expectation when you pop an X pill is you gonna let loose. You're gonna be wild. You're gonna be excited. You're gonna be crazy. A lot of people assume that when you take an X pill, you're gonna have great sex. So if you get to a nigga door and he say you gotta take an X pill to get in, you know what's up. Not saying you know, and it's hard to just say the right thing without people taking it out of context, but just seriously, at some point, where does common sense come into play? Like I've said in the past, when I say they know what's up, I just mean if so. For instance, I've been to parties and I've went in where they say you get to the door and you got to take a shot to get in. Okay, so I know that when I walk in this party, it's gonna be more drinking, probably some smoking, maybe some dancing, maybe some offensive rap music being played or some kind of loud music being played. You know, I expect those things. But if I got to somebody's party and they said you got to pop an ecstasy pill to get in here, the first thing that would pop in my mind, honestly, would be, is this an orgy? Is this a sex party? That would be the first thing I think. I would at least think this party is probably gonna be wild as fuck. Once again, that's no excuse for sexual assault or rape. Certainly not. I'm just saying the expectation when that's the requirement to get in, when that's the entry fee, the expectation should be sex at least. And I know that, wow, that sounds bad. That can definitely be taken out of context. That's one of those things that when the Black Podcast Show blow up and get huge, they're going to come back and grab that little clip and take it out of context. But anyway, that's the Black Podcast Show this week. I appreciate all those that tuned in live and talked to me and chilled with me for about an hour. If you're listening, make sure you tune in next week for another episode, and make sure you keep downloading, streaming, sharing. If you're watching live with me right now, please go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and share it for me and tell all your friends and family about the Black Podcast Show. Because guess what? When I blow up, y'all blow up. It's that simple. You scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours back. All right, it's the Black Podcast Show. I'm your host, Auchante. I'll be back again next Sunday. Oh, actually, next Sunday, I won't be back. I'm going to be in L.A. next Sunday. In the LG Show Me Love in California. So I'm going to be out there with Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, all the celebrities that's in Hollywood. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to actually be with them, but that's where they live. So next week is probably not going to be no show. So what I need you to do next week when you're missing me is just go back, listen to an old episode. You know, it ain't going to hurt nobody. Listen to an old episode. Like, share, all that. Anyway, it's your girl Shantae. It's the Black Podcast Show. See you in 2 weeks.
At the Irie Place. It's the Irie Place.